I said, I'll talk to y'all later. And then here I am. Here I am. I don't make the rules. They just rule me. I don't make the time. It just ticks by. It's kind of chilly. I gotta see this. Lord. Y'all, I'm so lazy. I went in the bathroom to use the bathroom. I didn't even lock the door. I look up and some worker's barging in. I said, I'm so sorry. I was flushing the toilet. She let come in. I said, I don't like to touch the doors, like the locks. If there ain't nobody in there and I know ain't nobody gonna be coming in, I don't even lock the door. Because I don't want to touch the locks. Good morning again. Trump recession. Listen. Common sense will take you so far in life. I wish we all had it. I really do. I wish we all had common sense because it takes you so much farther in life. First of all, there's talk of a recession. For those that don't know, I've been living through a recession for about 3.5 years. I like to consider it the Great Depression, but you know, it might not be a Great Depression because I'm pretty sure during the Great Depression, they lost 80 pounds each too. So the only reason I like to call it my Great Depression is because I lost 80 pounds because I couldn't afford to feed myself. So, you know, let's see what he has to say. And I'm trying to find it from a source that's not going to bash him. Yep. Who is this from? Because they don't like him. MSNBC, they hate him. And let's see if I can do Fox or something. Or Australia. Yeah. So there's one out by News Nation. Wow. All right. So apparently Donald Trump faced questions about the economic efforts on his tariff policy during a recent interview with Fox News, including whether he was worried about a looming recession in the United States. He said, quote, I hate to predict things like that. I hate to predict things like that. I don't know why I wanted to do that, but I did. There's a period of transition because what we're doing right now is very, very big, he said. It's a very big thing, and we're there. And there are always periods of, he stopped himself and said, it takes a little time. I just want to be clear. When does this drop? Today, this morning. 2 minutes ago, this dropped. I saw a different article that dropped 40 minutes ago as I was saying that we are in a recession and that it is going to get worse. 40 minutes after I said that, the first article dropped on this. This one just dropped 2 minutes ago. Anyways, common sense will take you very far in life. So he's beating around the bush, and I'm not trying to bash the president. We all know I love Donald Trump. I rooted for Donald Trump. I was out here doing the Lord's work for 13 months trying to get Trump into office. So he was absolutely our best bet. He is the perfect fit for this country. But he's not going to tell us the truth about everything because it will send people into a panic. So he's beating around the bush right here, and he says, I hate to predict things like that. There's a period of transition because what we're doing is very big. We're bringing wealth back to America. That is a big thing. And there's always periods of, it takes a little time, he said. So, is this going to send us into a recession? I don't know. I feel like we're already there. So does it matter? I mean, this just means that we're all homeless. We're all standing in line for beans, because how much poorer can we get? I don't know about you, but I can't get too much poorer. Like, I'm poor. I'm living out of a car. How much poorer can you get? Because I can't do another 2, 3, 4 year of what we've been doing. And it sounds like things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. His evasiveness to the question tells me a lot. The way that he stopped himself mid-sentence tells me that he was about to say something and he stopped himself. So he knows more than he's willing to reveal. Let me read this. He says that we're in a period of transition and that he's trying to bring wealth back to America. And I understand that. But I mean, I just want all of the Republicans to know that what they're doing right now could put us in a 10 times worse predicament. I don't know if most people know that, but I'm just being clear. It could lead to our demise. I mean, it could lead to us being completely fractured with no resolve, no resources. We're all in the poorhouse. We're talking about the great, great, great depression. We could be there in 2, 3 years. I don't know why everybody just puts all of their eggs in one basket and doesn't look at things for what they are and how it affects the economy. And I'm not very smart, and I can see it. And that's the shocking part. It's like, how am I this dumb? But there's people dumber than me running the world. How? And I'm not saying Trump is dumber than me. I'm saying there are people. Okay? Fani Willis, AOC, Hillary Clinton. Yeah. But I don't understand. So it doesn't look... So it's saying that he's not ruling out the possibility of a recession. He's saying that there's a huge possibility that we could fall into another recession if we're not already in one. I don't know about y'all, but I'm in a recession. I'm in a Great Depression. I love that he didn't rule it out. That makes me have more faith in him. Saying, oh no, there's no chance of a recession would make me not have faith in him, because the fact is we are gambling right now, folks. We are gambling big time. Huge time. With our lives, with our future, with our children's lives and future. And so, I love Trump. But what is going on has never been done before, and we don't know the impacts to this country of what's going on. And now, I agree with the tariffs. And let me tell you why. I agree with the tariffs because I agree with the taxes because these countries are not in compliance. Not only are these countries not in compliance, but they are working in the shadows to kill us. China, Mexico, they poison us from the inside out. China makes the chemicals, they ship them to Mexico. Mexico makes the drugs, and they send it up through the fucking border, or on planes or boats or whatever else. So I agree with the tariffs because of things like that. And this is a great way to fight back without physically having to fight. And it sets the tone, and it lets these countries know that we are not going to be bullied. We are not going to just hand over money without any damn questions. That crap has got to stop. So I don't know. It looks like he's being evasive. Like I said, I kind of appreciate that. But it says that he's not ruling out a recession and that the tariffs could affect the markets. And I mean, I think we all knew this, and like I said, this is what I meant when I said that things could get worse before they get better, but it looks like economists are not happy, but who do they work for? Y'all think we're going to damn be worse off? Time to get all of this. I agree, Lisa. It's going to take time, but what I'm worried about is our safety net. I'm scared of our safety net getting burnt out before we're able to get things in order. I don't know. Things are so expensive right now, I can't afford to live. So, if it continues, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. And at this point, I don't feel like I can get any poorer, but, Trump might have other plans for me. Yeah, Trump is a great man. Great, great man. Something Kamala Harris could never be. That drunk. I think it's Xanax, y'all. I really do. I think she was on drugs. I know people say she's a drunk. I don't think so. I think it's Klonopin or Xanax or something like that. What a waste of human life. Yeah, I know. It already seems that way. Let's see what's going on with Elon. Has he got another baby? It's only been a week since we talked about him. He probably has another kid. Yeah, he is doing a lot at once. I saw this guy crying on LinkedIn. He said that he was a federal worker and he received an email after 20 years of service. And it said, "You've been relieved of duties." And he was on LinkedIn crying. He was like, "This ain't fair. I gave you 20 years of my life." And I was just sitting there like, well, you must have done 20 years of no service for them to fire you, because if you would have sent an email reply explaining what you had done in your 20 years of service, you might still have a job. I mean, imagine telling your boss. That'd be like me sending, email, for instance, YouTube emails me, and they're like, "Hey, Brooke, we really don't want you to say the word F anymore. Can you please stop saying the F word?" And I'm like, "Sure, no problem." And then I get online the next day, and I say the F word, and I get fired. It's the same concept. If your boss emails you and says, "Hey, I want a report of all of the things you have done this week in the office," you send a damn report of all of the things you've done in the office. Otherwise, you're going to be fired. That shows that you don't need to be working in government if you can't do one simple task. Just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean you don't have to obey them. That's your boss. You signed up for that. When you took a job in government, you knew that your bosses might be changing frequently. You knew that the economy changes frequently. You knew that things were going to be constantly changing. Bunch of children, they all needed to be fired, and I'm glad they're fired. They don't deserve their job. I would have sent that email so fast, Elon's head would have spun. He would have hit enter or send, and it would have been replied right back to him. I don't understand why we have adults out here thinking that they are above the law, especially when it is their job to obey the law. They all needed to be fired. They were a waste of taxpayer money, and I don't feel bad for none of them. I just hate that I'm out here in the job market competing for jobs with them now. Because who you think they gonna hire first? An ex-government worker or an ex-con? You know how stupid you have to be to raise a fit about having to do your job while you making government money? And then they make over $100,000 a year. That's the crazy part. Imagine making over $100,000 a year and you can't even send a simple email explaining what you did in your position today. Yeah, I would say that all of them needed to be fired on the grounds of they're all idiots. You have to be a pretty big idiot to be making over $100,000 a year and not realize that you're going to have to send some emails along the line. I'm in YouTube and I absolutely despise the email and I have to use it, So talk about privileged. You know how privileged you are when you're like, Oh, God. Elon Musk just emailed me. Oh, my God. What a pansy. What a pansy. I'm not sending him no report of my work. I'm not, what is it, like a progress report or something? Performance. It's somebody told me it's a performance report. Imagine. And that's exactly why they all got fired. Because it's the principal. It's the principal. It's your job to answer this email to your superior. If you're incapable of doing that, incapable, then you don't need the job. So I do not feel bad about all them people getting fired. They deserved it. They were wasting money. I find it comical, actually. I mean, because you got to be pretty stupid. Like, bottom of the barrel, dumb as a box of rocks. To have a job like that, making that kind of money, and then to pitch a fit about a singular email. Because your feelings are hurt. Your feelings are so hurt. Oh, God, they're going to ruin the world. They're going to take it over. They're going to outlaw being gay. So crazy. Well, it looks like the world's a pretty quiet place this morning. Mark Carney, we learned about him last night. He might be the new Prime Minister of Canada. Canada, if y'all elect this idiot, y'all are just as bad as him. That makes you an idiot to vote for somebody that acts just like Justin Trudeau and was trained and worked in Justin Trudeau's cabinet. Is that what you call it? I don't know. You know what I mean. Y'all have been through over 9 years of absolute hell. Why would you put the same type of person back in office? Anyways, Mark Carney says Canada won't back down on tariffs until the U.S. shows respect. Please, boy. Don't nobody want to give you respect. You don't even respect yourself, honey. And you over here talking about respect. You are evil. Evil. You're a banker that had a banking career that is now going to rob Canada through an election. Mark my word. Y'all know how I call shit. If Mark Carney gets into office, he's going to take you guys for a ride and steal all of your money. What's left? What's left? He's a banker that worked for Bloomberg. Bloomberg. Y'all know how I tell y'all to be damn looking at people? Look at that face. Don't he look like he would be sitting at the right hand of Satan? I'm just saying. He looks like he would be sitting next to Satan on a throne somewhere. That's all I'm saying. Some people, they're so evil, they start to look evil. Oh, look, he's still got his webpage up for Bloomberg. He does. Bloomberg.com. I was trying to see how long he worked for Bloomberg. Well, you know, I just think that, oh, wow, he has a book called Values. That's the other thing, where he talks about pretty much overthrowing the world. Hold on one second. Let me get the synopsis on the book. I forgot about that. Values book. Let's see. He is still at Bloomberg. Of course he is. Thanks, Lisa. Of course he is. He's going to bankrupt. Yeah, I agree. He's going to bankrupt the country. I just don't think that it's smart to put a banker as prime minister. You're asking for problems. He doesn't care about the people. His mind has not even been geared to care about people. His mind has been geared to make money for the past 50 years. What do you think? You think all of a sudden some people... Listen, I understand that I've made a lot of changes and it's a miracle, but not everybody has the come to conscience moment like I have in my life. A lot of people actually never do. And they continue to be evil, and they continue to thrive in it and produce evil and behave evilly. And Mark Carney, I didn't even, if you go back and watch yesterday's video, I didn't know anything about him. I took one look at him and I said, he's evil. And then I started learning about his career, and I just confirmed that even more. So, yeah, I think that this is going to be a recipe for disaster if this guy is voted into office, but I'm really hoping. And he won by 89% at the Democratic, when they pick the Democrat that's going to run. He won by 89%. Let me look at this book. It's called Values. It's by Mark Carney. It's concerning because... Overview. This entire book, called Values by Mark Carney, who was running as Canada's Prime Minister. He's a Democrat. He's a horrible person. He's an economist, and he offers his thoughts on how to make the financial markets more equitable. So he's already got a plan. He's probably already marked it out for you. I'm sure if you go read Values, you can see the plan for Mark Carney's future for Canada. And I'm just going on a whim because I don't know. I ain't read it. I can't even get a... Yeah, the offer, I can't get a clear... Jordan Peterson has come out speaking against this guy. We all know that we value Jordan. Jordan Peterson says, Mark Carney does not value a prosperous Canada. It says that he's already won, y'all. Mark Carney, heir to the Canadian throne, such as it is intended... Hold on. Is indeed wrestling with difficult problem in his 2021 book, Values, or even a difficult set of problems. The title indicates as much. Building a better world for all. Imagine writing a book to rewire the world, to overthrow the world, to make... I don't know what his plan is. I haven't read the book. But imagine writing this plan in a book and then being elected as Prime Minister. What is wrong with people? He says he wants to build a better world for all. Me too, Lisa, but somebody last night said that he's supposed to run against Poilievre. Hold on. Who is Canada's Prime Minister? Yeah, Mark Carney. So he did win. Somebody last night said that this other guy, they were going to be running against each other. It looks like he won by 89%. The prominent central banker and investor, love that, who was chosen in a crucial leadership race, aimed threats from President Trump. He's expected to quickly call a federal election. So have they had it or have they not? I'm so confused. And y'all were saying that he won it. He won the Democratic Party, which is what we thought, which is what I heard last night. So, when will Mark Carney run against Poilievre? I can't say his name. No. 7 hours ago, he won. It says, Mark Carney wins race to replace Trudeau as Canada's Prime Minister. Y'all are so done. Yeah, former central banker Mark Carney will be the next Prime Minister. And I was looking at that other guy last night. Carney took 86% of the votes casted to beat former Finance Minister Chrystia Freelander in a contest Not the bankers saying that Trump's trying to weaken their economy. So it looks like y'all are screwed. So somebody last night said they were from MK, told me that he was going to have to run against a different guy. But it looks like I'm wasting my breath. Y'all already elected him in. That sucks. Yeah, building a better world for a banker means some Hitler shit. I don't care if you call me crazy. And I want to read this book so bad. Building a Better World for All, Mark Carney, Values. So he's a climate freak. He's also an LGBTQ plus freak. 55 things to know about Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. Let's see if there's anything good on here. Let's see if there's just one good thing going. Mike Carney, 59, is a career banker and climate activist with a globalist mindset of a true Davos man. Why do they write stuff like this? Yeah, I agree, Pete. I agree. He's a horrible person. I didn't even need to learn about his history. I can look at him and tell. He looks demonic. Like I said earlier, some people have been meddling in evil so long that they actually take on a demonic form physically. We see that in a lot of politicians, actually. Hillary Clinton is one of them. God. Whew, Lord, that woman radiates evil, does she not? She radiates evil. That's what I'm talking about. Look at Hillary Clinton. You can feel it seeping out of her. Can you not? I can. I get terrified to even watch her. She's demonic. Right up there with darn Obama. I don't understand how people don't see things for what they are. So it looks like they've got these things pinpointed out. So it looks like he served in the UN for climate action. He was the first non-British person to become the governor of the Bank of England since it was founded in 1694. At 43, the age of male maturity, Carney was the second youngest person to serve as governor of the Bank of Canada. So he went from the Bank of England to the Bank of Canada, and he has been doing finance work for pretty much his whole life and climate activism. Let me just tell y'all something. The bank is not y'all's friend. I know that y'all like to think that they look out for you, but no, honey. The bank, the financial institutions are horrible people. They operate business horribly. They scam people. They shit on the little people. And anyone that gets trained in this level of banking, there's a certain level of corrupt that you have to be. You're complicit in the evil. And he learned from the best of the best. I'm laughing because it's just so unbelievable. I mean, it really shocks me, y'all. It really does. Just like North Carolina voting in Josh Stein. I'm shocked. Y'all go through 4 or 5 years of hell, and then y'all vote for the same people that put you through that hell. I'm shocked. Let's go get some coffee. Because it's raining. And I'm scared. I don't want to be in the building. I'm scared I'm going to get struck. I'm so sorry, Hush Puppy. Anybody that lives in Canada, I am praying for you. I think that I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Because it's wrong. 89%, 89%. That tells you right there what's going on up there. That tells you how problematic this is. 89%. Sad world we live in. Yeah, one of my friends on here told me that he thought that idiot. I forgot what I was saying. So, see, this is what we're trying to figure out because none of us are Canadians. It says online that he is the new Prime Minister. Every single article says that Mark Carney is the new Prime Minister of Canada. It doesn't say that there's any race left because I know about the other guy. Starts with a P. His first name and last name starts with a P. He was supposed to be running against Mark and people were expecting him to win, but it looks like Mark won by 89%. Which is crazy. I mean, it's shocking for me. It's breathtaking. It's so shocking. I knew that the problems were bad because of Jordan. You know what they do to Jordan Peterson. So I knew the problems were bad, but I didn't know that they were this bad. I thought we had it bad over here in the West. I mean, it's bad, but maybe not as bad as Canada, honey. That's rough. I couldn't imagine. Not me thinking about fleeing to Canada 6 months ago. Thank God we didn't do that. Thank you. So when do they do the federal, Pete? Does anybody know when they do the federal? Well, still, I mean, with him winning by 89%. Good morning. Where's my card? Still a lot.
You didn't see?
No, ma'am. Thank you. Well, I did read somewhere. Can't they push that along? Oh my God, y'all. It's really coming down. Oh my God, y'all. There's coffee everywhere. It's all over my shirt. I spilt it all down me. I said, Jesus, don't let me get wet. I must have not have got it out my mouth quick enough. I think I was expecting a lot, you know? That's expecting a lot given the circumstances of this rainstorm. You know, ironically, even though it looks like I'm being swept away by damn Hurricane Royd, I don't know. It's supposed to stop in a few minutes. My hair got soaked. It's alright. It's already dirty. So, I mean... Oh, acid rainwater. Love that for me. Hold on, I gotta go back because I'm genuinely what do they call that? Enthralled? I'm enthralled. A year and a half with it. So who runs the country until somebody new is elected in? Does Trudeau just continue to run the country? I'm sorry, my hair is dripping. It's getting on my nerves. Look at how they write this on the news. This is concerning then for Canadians. Listen to this. Because when you Google who was the Prime Minister of Canada, it comes up as Mark Carney. And I just feel like that's wrong because it leads people here in America to believe that y'all are being governed by Mark Carney. If I'm even saying any of that right. Who is the Prime Minister of Canada? Mark Carney to become the new Prime Minister of Canada. Maybe that's the way that they're wording it. Maybe I'm just stupid and we all know this, but the media, we need to do something about the media. We do. It's problematic. We're all getting fake news. We're all getting bits and pieces of news. We have to read through the BS in articles. Half of the stuff is not even spelt right. And this is coming from somebody who barely speaks English. There be commas missing, explanation points. You know, like the articles that I read through the media don't even have correct punctuation, correct spelling. Half the story's missing. We've got to fix the media. I'm tired of the media because it says that Mark Carney is y'all's prime minister here in America when I Google it. And that's why I thought that. And so thank y'all for telling me, because I'm really feeling bad for Canadians right now and I'm worried for y'all. I really am. My shirt is soaked. Sorry, excuse me. This thing is wet. Burr. It cold. I really am concerned for you guys. Because I don't know much about Mark Carney, but what we've learned in the past 2 days is concerning, honey. I mean, y'all might as well just, if y'all gonna do that, why don't y'all take Kamala? She might be Kamala might be better than Mark Carney. At least she's not a banker. At least she's not working for Bloomberg. You know? At least she's just some idiot with a Xanax or alcohol problem. Ain't it crazy? We're going to look back on this in 50 years. No, we're not. It'll just be worse then. Never mind. I was about to say we're going to look back and say, oh my God, can y'all remember this? No. It'll be so crazy 50 years from now. We're going to be sitting there like, oh my God, we thought 2025 was crazy. Can you believe this? Because the world's getting worse. It's in God's word. We're living through the end of times, honey. These are those trials and tribulations he be talking about. It's hard to understand, but he was placed as our prime minister. So this was because Trudeau was blacklisted, right? And rightfully so. I mean, he's a horrible person. Not to mention, messing with his students in school. That should have stopped him from even being in office to start with. But I digress. But, so this was because they called on Trudeau to be removed from office, correct? I did see something about that. It seemed like Canadians were really wanting Trudeau to be physically removed out of office. And rightfully so. I'm laughing because it's funny. I mean, imagine doing that bad of a job that people are trying to have you impeached. And I don't know if that's what it's called, but he stepped down because he was losing in the polls. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why he was losing. But he was just loved 2 years ago. Everybody loved him 2 years ago. What happened? He's in office for now. I don't know. You know, and you know the sad thing about the West, we don't get news here. If I want news, I got to go to India. I got to go to Australia. I got to go to News Nation. I got to go to some other country to get my news. The answers. The truth. The truth without having to read through all the BS, you know? It's frustrating. I want to learn more about the opponent. Don't roast me. Poilievre. Nope, it didn't work. Poilievre, Republican, Canadian, potential prime minister. I knew what I knew, but I just don't speak English once again. So this guy right here, I've seen him before. I've seen him on podcast. I've learned about his story a little bit yesterday. We've got to start putting people in office that have been through things, not rich people that have silver spoons in their mouths like Mark Carney. Mark Carney has experienced nothing but luscious lifestyle his entire life. Okay? Listen, I'm not saying he ain't been through some things, but he ain't been through enough things to make him good. He's been he's been through some things and he went dark. Okay? He went evil. This guy right here, I can't say his name. Poilievre. He was born and raised in Canada. He hasn't been bouncing all over the world doing banking work. He's from Alberta, and I've seen this guy before. I really hope that he wins. I really do. So you do like him, Pete? I was talking to another friend of mine last night, MK, and they like him too. And it's crazy because I didn't realize that I actually knew who the guy was until after I started digging into his background. And I've seen him talk, and he's talked about his upbringing. You know, he was an adoptive kid. He was adopted by a married couple. His mother was a young teenage mother. She was 16 years old. She had him, and she gave him up for adoption. Ironically, I think it was about a year or two after his adoption from this lovely couple that welcomed him into their home, his mother had another child. I think it was a boy. I didn't read all of this, but somewhere, let's see. I think it was a boy, and these people also adopted his brother. So he got to grow up with his biological brother in a foster home with a family that loved him. And this foster family is his family. So he had a kind of, that's tumultuous. I was about to say rocky. That's not rocky. That's tumultuous. Being an adoptive child, growing up in foster care, even if you get placed with one family, it is a lot on a child and their developing brain. And he seems like a very well-rounded man that cares about the people. He really does. He seems very down to earth. He seems very grounded, rational, optimistic, hopeful. I mean, I was watching some of his content this morning. This is why I'm talking about this, but he seems like a much better option for Canada than another Democrat. And I used to be part of the Democratic Party, and I'm so glad that God has led me away from that demonic behavior. And I'm not saying all Democrats are demonic. I'm saying the Democratic Party now is demonic. It's unfortunate. But me personally, if I was a Democrat, I wouldn't even tell anybody. I'd be like, I'm an independent. Because the stuff that the Democratic Party stands for today is the devil's work. Abortion, LGBT, not teaching children how to read or write. It goes that deep. It was all by design. All of it. The immigration, the money. It was all by design. There's records of this. There's evidence to support this. The Data Republican has all of this stuff on her website. These elites have been running the country on the right and the left for generations. And it just so happens that somehow the Democratic Party, they really got in that swamp and they started... They made things worse. I don't even know how to conceptualize it into words, y'all. All I know is the Democratic Party went dark, and they polluted that whole party. And now, if you are affiliated with that party, I think you're crazy. So don't tell me that you're a Democrat unless you want me to think you're crazy, because you have to have some demonic in you to think that behavior is okay. We're talking about the mutilation, castration of children. You have to be somewhat demonic to think that is okay. It's crazy that we even got here. I don't know how we got here, but I digress. Is he married? Oh, he has a beautiful wife. Anatanda Poilievre. Lord, y'all. She's a political staffer, online magazine publisher, and wife of Conservative Party of Canada leader Pierre Poilievre. I'm trying so hard. It's the wife of one of the guys running for. I wonder how much damage Carney can do before he's like either the election or whatever. Like, at this point, I put nothing past these people. We watched the Biden administration destroy the West in less than 4 years. So I wonder how much damage Carney can do before he's either elected in or the other guy's elected in. I hope not much. Oh yeah, I have an affinity for people. Is that the word? I have an affliction for people that have tough upbringings, like JD Vance. I did not care. This is sad. This is sad. This tells you like how much I care about people that go through hard things, though. I did not really care about JD Vance until this was after he became vice president. I saw a podcast of JD Vance talking about his mother being on drugs and his upbringing and how he was raised. And y'all, I've loved Vance since then, because let me tell you something about people that overcome things. You really don't have, in my opinion, you can't gain wisdom without going through things, in my opinion. You have to fall, pick yourself up, fall, pick yourself up, fall, and repeat in order to learn things in life. People who grow up with a silver spoon in their mouth have no concept of what real people go through. It's almost like there's two different worlds. When we're talking about people like Mark Carney and people like JD Vance, they are from two different, complete, separate worlds. Way different worlds. And I'm not saying that Mark Carney ain't never been through something. I'm just saying whatever he's been through made him demonic, honey, in my opinion. So I really love people that have a success story. And the guy running, Pierre, is it Pierre? Please somebody tell me if it's Pierre. If I can just get the first name, we'll be doing good. Pierre had a very tumultuous upbringing. Somehow, through all of that, he was able to pick himself up and make something of himself. And I just appreciate people like that. And I feel like that's the people we need to have out here, you know, moving in the shadows to run this country, because they've actually been through something. They have a little bit of wisdom and they have a conscience. That's another thing. Woo, that's another thing. I'm sweating talking about this. People like Mark Carney, they don't have no conscience. You can look in their eyes and tell that they are not operating for anybody but themselves. They are self-motivated, righteous. Some people, you can look in their eyes and tell that they're not good. They're dark. Mark Carney is one of those people, and I just feel like we need more people that have a conscience, because you can tell that the Republican potential Prime Minister Pierre, you can tell that he has a conscience. You can look in his eyes and see that he has a soul. Some people you can't do that with, like, I don't know, Kamala Harris, AOC, Fani Willis, Tiffany Henyard, Joe Biden, Jill Biden, Hunter Biden. I mean, I can keep going. Tell me if I'm wrong, but don't they just look a little soulless behind the eyes, or am I tripping? I don't know. I think that is, we've talked about profiling on this channel before, and I know that people don't like that because they think that we're judging people by the way that they look. Well, unfortunately, for safety reasons, I have to do that, Karen. Just because you're uncomfortable in your body doesn't mean that I can't profile you from the outside to make sure that you're safe for me to be around. I understand that your obesity makes you feel some type of way when I talk about things like this, but I can assure you that I don't care about how fat you are. I'm talking about safety. Profiling is very important. You know, sometimes what you see on the outside is a complete representation of what they got going on the inside, honey. More often than not. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that I'm really hoping that this guy wins the election. I feel like I saw something where Jordan Peterson had said, good morning, Miss Woods. Rise and grind. Rise and shine. Grand rising. What is wrong with me? I really just be making up anything, don't I? Can't read or speak. Yeah, I felt like Jordan had put out he did on his page. He talked about this guy, and he said that he was horrible for Canada. But I saw in a news article this morning that he also updated that assessment and said something else, and it was in the news. I want to see what he said. He said that Mark Carney does not want a prosperous Canada. And he points to Carney's book of values to say this is his plan. He says he wants to build a better world for all. I don't understand a lot of this stuff, and I'm just being honest, y'all. I don't know much about politics. What I do know is about character and profiling people. I think that common sense, looking at people for who they are, what they've done in their career is imperative, because it's going to show you what they're going to do in office. If they've been swindling money out of banks for decades, or swindling money for banks for decades, what do you think they're going to do to a country? I guess, a lot of people that are probably not good at being good judges of character, they see this guy and they say, oh, he's a banker like Trump. Maybe he'll help the economy like Trump is helping the West. Even though the very people that are going to vote for this guy hate Trump. Maybe that's the mindset behind it. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of why people would want to vote for this guy. I like Vance. I really do. I really do. Vance had it rough. Vance had it rough. His mother, I don't know what she was on. Hold on one second. J.D. Vance and his mother's drug addiction. Oh, wow. She passed away. Ooh. This is crazy. You can't even read the news anymore. They want you to pay for everything. I'll be darned. Y'all don't even know how to write. And this is coming from somebody who don't know how to write. It's bad when the illiterate girl is calling out the media for not being able to write an article. Put me in, coach. I can do a better job. That's all I'm saying. And I'd actually be out there with boots on the ground. I'd be. So it looks like Vance's mother, who was Beverly Atkins, she's not dead. It looks like, hold on. He grew up on assistance. Anytime I hear about kids that grew up on assistance, I know that they had a hard life, because if a parent is going and asking for help, more than likely they need it. Now, you do have your milkers, your cows out here that want to milk the system, but it looks like he says he was raised in a working class family. His mother required food assistance for periods of her life. His grandmother required Social Security to help raise him. And she raised me in part because my own mother struggled with addiction for a big chunk of my early life. Oh, wow. You can tell she is so proud of him. She's literally crying. Gonna make me cry. Miss Atkins has been sober and clean for 10 years from alcohol and heroin. So that's his mother. That's his mother, who had to get food stamps to eat. And then he was raised by his grandmother, who also had to get Social Security to raise him, because his mother would be out on the streets doing heroin. And for those that don't know, heroin is a physically addictive drug. So she would have had to have drugs every day to maintain. Otherwise, she would have been on the ground sick. So heroin, in my opinion, can be one of the worst hardcore drugs that a person can be physically addicted to. And you can die. You can die from heroin withdrawal. So it looks like J.D. Vance wrote a best-selling memoir, which became a movie. What? Where's this movie? God. His mama grew up in an abusive household. Her mother, Bonnie, was abused by her father, who was a violent drunk. So it sounds like, oh, I'm getting chill bumps. It sounds like J.D. Vance is out here breaking the mold, breaking the generational curse. It sounds like he comes from a long line of people who were struggling with addiction, a long line of people who were abusive to each other. He has multiple children with his wife. They seem very in love. I'm so happy for them. Success story. He said that he had a revolving door of father figures in his life when his mother was struggling with drug addiction. the hillbilly elegy? Is that the Vance? No way, he named it the hillbilly? You lying. I believe you, but that's wild. Like, I know he's a little country, but I would have never thought he would name his documentary Hillbilly. Is that eulogy? Eulogy? I can't. Yeah. It's just Vance. Wow. I'm going to have to somehow find that. I don't have Netflix anymore, but I bet it's good. Yeah, I love success stories like this. So, and I think that, you know, you ever seen somebody say, like when they were doing the voting thing, you ever see somebody say, oh, I'm voting for this person because they're just like me? When's the last time you heard that? Been a long time, you know what I mean? I just think we need to go back to a more rational approach to picking out politicians to lead this country and other countries. You need to really look at a person's character, and their upbringing can tell you a lot about a person's character. Or maybe the choices in the life that they're currently living can tell you a lot about a person's character. But Mark Carney, I feel bad for Canadians. I hope that he doesn't win. I hope that Pierre, God, I hope that's right. I hope that he wins for you guys, because if not, I don't know what's going to happen to y'all. I mean, y'all have been through 9 years of hell. Can you even afford to go through more years of it? You know? I don't know. Yeah, so Jordan Peterson had him on his channel. That's how I know who he is. Oops. That's how I know who he is, because Jordan, I watched a lecture. It wasn't a lecture. It was they discussed things, and that was like weeks ago. I forgot that I even watched it until I was looking at Jordan, and then I see that, and I'm like, wait a second, I've seen that. So I have seen Jordan sat down with that guy. It's on the Jordan Peterson channel. So it looks like despite he's not doing well. Despite poll slump, Poilievre supporters confident as conservative leader rallies in London. A recent dip in public opinion polling for the conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has done little to dent the confidence of his supporters in London. Hundreds of conservative backers filed into the RBC Place for a rally on Sunday dubbed the Bring It Home. It was his first show in the southwestern Ontario city since late 2023. The midday rally, which drew a lineup that stacked around the block, comes as the party's comfortable polling lead over the Liberals has shrunk, following the return of the U.S. President Donald Trump to office and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's resignation announcement. See, here's the thing. I think that maybe people in Canada think that we got Trump into office and all of this stuff will work itself out. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Y'all still got to go to the polls and vote for this guy. You can't just put all your eggs in one basket. You still got to be fighting the good fight to save your country. You know, because around the world, when Trump won, leaders around the world were typing on X, Instagram, sending him personal emails. Oh my God, we're so glad you're back. The world's going to change. Yes, we can save the world. So people respect Trump. They want him in office. Yeah, they hate dealing with him because he's a pain in the ass to deal with and he's a businessman. But they want him in office over Joe Biden any day. So I'm just wondering if, like, people think in Canada because Trump is in office here that things will work out for them up there. And I can assure you that's not the case. Yeah, you know, Pete, I really thought she was going to win. I really thought she was going to win. I was like, people were talking about, oh, she's going to get Pennsylvania, she's going to get this. And I'm like, oh my God, what are we going to do, y'all? I was on live crying, I think. I don't think I was crying. But I was close to it because I thought Kamala was going to come into office. I already had my passport ready and everything. I was leaving this country. I'm not even joking. I sound like a celebrity right now. I sound like Ellen DeGeneres. But I would have had to have left. I would have been left with no option. Like, it's already so bad out here. Like, I'm going to Israel. Like, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm allowed in Israel. I know not Iran, but I'm going home. Jerusalem. Like, here I come. Like, seriously, it's so bad. So I was terrified that Kamala was going to win, and a lot of us thought that she had a chance. Ye had little faith. Ye had little faith. Think of the 9 years of this crap. I know. I saw what they tried to do to Jordan. I can't imagine. If they will prosecute a public figure like that over biological facts, that tells you how dangerous things have gotten. I mean, that's dangerous. They were trying to take his medical license because he said that boys had penises and girls had vaginas. They tried to discredit him, ruin his career. They drug him through the mud, and they tried to destroy him because he spoke truth. And that's why he moved to America. And we're so happy to have you here, Jordan. So happy to have you here. I can't wait to meet him one day. I'm going to meet him one day. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to meet him one day. And I can't wait because I literally probably just might cry. Because he doesn't even know how much he's helped me. So Jordan is a miracle worker. And in my opinion, Jordan was sent here by God. So I don't care what anybody says. I'm allowed to feel that way. And I don't really agree with his new production of like, he kind of signed on his channel. He's doing something with his channel, and he's bringing awareness to God, and I appreciate that. But it feels a little commercialized to me. Is that even a word? Can I say that? It's just a little, I don't like I don't know. I just don't, I liked his channel before, and he's doing a lot of stuff. He's dipping his toes in a lot of water, and he has this new Jesus Christ special where he sits at like a round table with a bunch of other Jesus Christ experts, and I like it. It just feels a little like the Daily Wire. You know what I mean? And I love the Daily Wire, but we all saw how Candace and Brett was treated at the Daily Wire, and I don't agree with that, and I think Ben Shapiro is a little off his rocker. However, he was talking about something this morning, and I agreed with him, and it shocked me. And he's the only one other than me, you know, but everything I say, people call me crazy. So it's fine. But Ben Shapiro can say it, and he's not crazy. He's got millions of followers, so it's fine if Ben says it. But I agreed with him. Oh, did y'all hear that transitioning people can't join the military anymore? The LGBT stuff stops at the front gates. Sure does. I can't find it, but it was something crazy. Oh, yeah. I can't remember, y'all. Sorry. Side note. The truckers, you mean the... Good morning, Snoozeberry. I am well. We are getting coffee. Sorry, I got rained on. I'm not a wet rat. I just got rained on. What happened with truckers? Oh, God. Truckers. I knew what you meant, Careless Whisper. I knew what you meant. That's so funny. That's one of my favorite songs. Planes are falling out of the sky. Always and forever. I hope not. Oh, did y'all see in Iran where 1 million people converted to Christianity? I think it was from Islam. 1 million people at one time converted to Christianity. 1 million people convert to Christianity. Where? Brooke doesn't know. Muslims. Iran. Sorry. That quick. Memory was gone. So, over 1 million Muslims in Iran have converted to Christianity. It's kind of crazy because Revelations. Revelations, baby. I love it. Some say that what's happening in Iran is representative of what is happening in the Islamic world. Others say that there is an awakening taking place across the Muslim world. I mean, it's still by far, I think, well, hold on. Let me check that. Is Christianity the largest religion in the world? Yeah, 2.4 billion followers. Islam was the second largest religion in the world with about 24% of the world's population. Hinduism was the third largest religion with about 1.2 billion followers. Buddhism was about 500 million followers. Listen to this, and these numbers are crazy. In 1976, 91% of the U.S. population was Christian. By 2016, this number had declined to 73%. In 2022, the number had declined to a further 64%. I would be willing to bet that it's half of 64%. This is Google AI. What percentage of the West is Christian? It says 55%. Listen, I'm willing to get out here and do some street polls on this because it's nowhere near 55%. I watched a street poller the other day go through a grocery store and ask every person, do you know Lord? Do you know the Lord, your Savior, Jesus Christ? And there were people saying that they were Satanists. There were people that were grunting at him. Ugh, God. I don't want to talk about God. He found one person in the entire store that knew God out of maybe a dozen. At that rate, I'm sorry, that's not 55%. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, sure, that's a dumb grocery store poll. But once again, I'm willing to take to the streets on this because I'm willing to bet that it's half of 55%. True Christians are probably less than 5%. True Christians. That's just people that say, anybody can say they're a Christian, but who is actually being a Christian? You know what I mean? And I guess it doesn't matter, but if you want to say that you're a Christian, that's your business. But I'm just talking about factual things. Like I'm talking about in actuality and reality, if we're being honest about the state of this country and how bad this problem is that we have fallen away from God in all countries, I think it's much worse than what Google would say. That's all I'm saying. Because I've seen videos of street preachers that get out in the streets and talk to random strangers, and these strangers get violent. They get mad when you bring up Christ's name. People don't even like the name Jesus Christ. Ask yourself this, why is he the only one mocked? And he is. Lady Gaga, you're going to burn in hell. Let me show y'all something. I'll never listen to Lady Gaga again after this. I mean, I already knew she was kind of demonic, but this really put the icing on the cake. And I want to go over the song a little bit too, because it's called, what is it, Abracadabra? Yes. First of all, she performed at a music festival where she was dressed in all red. It was a satanic ritual where two winged goat-like figures that were wearing pentagrams came out from behind the stage. In the lyrics of the song, she talks about fornicating with Satan. I can't make this stuff up. I wish I could. I'm not this good. I got an imagination, honey. But this stuff is demonic. I couldn't even have thought that up. Lady Gaga Abracadabra lyrics. Abracadabra, abracadabra, abracadabra. Y'all know the song. Abracadabra. It's so annoying. You have to be gay to like it, I think. I don't know. I wouldn't know. Pay the toll to the angels. Drawing circles in the clouds. Keep your mind on the distance when the devil turns around. At this point, Lady Gaga, who is all dressed in red, is being held up by multiple men with her legs spread in a sexual position. I'm going to leave your mind to that. Hold me in your heart tonight, she says. Remember, she just met Satan. Hold me in your heart tonight. In the magic of the dark moon, save me from this empty fight in the game of life. Like a poem said by a lady in red, you hear the last few words of your life with the haunting dance. Now you're both in a trance. It's time to cast your spell on the night. I'm sorry. What more evidence do you need that we are being conditioned to work for Satan? Keep your mind on the distance when the devil turns around. Hold me in your heart tonight in the magic of the dark moon. She is talking to Satan, asking him to enter her. And the stage performance is even more concerning. She looks like she's ready to have sex with Satan. Y'all, the evil out here is among us, and a lot of people are not going to like what I have to say and going further on this channel, because I'm going to be calling out fake Christian behavior, because that's what it is. Christians do not listen to anything with Satan's name in it. They sure as hell don't watch performances with women half naked pretending like they're about to fornicate with Satan, and it's absolutely preposterous that anyone would let their children even listen to madness like this. It's disgusting. The lyrics are very clear. I just read them. You can go read them for yourself. You got to learn to read through the BS. She's essentially having a seance with Satan and wanting to be his lover. That is what Abracadabra by Lady Gaga is about. It's demonic, y'all. It's crazy. Under 17, not admitted with a parent. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? So, you rude ass. Hello, Starboy. I'm so sorry. Good morning, Shane. We're talking about damn Lady Gaga's demonic under 17. Good morning. Yeah. You know, Christine, they are. You know what's even more disturbing is watching a bunch of toddlers twerk to darn hands on my knees, hands on my knees. Let me tell you something. This is why I had problems as a parent. Because what I'm saying now is how I've always felt. It's kind of crazy, because if I would have caught my toddler in a daycare being taught to twerk, there's about a 50% chance that I'm going to jail. I can't handle it. And I know it's wrong to put your hands on people, but I physically can't handle it. There's something that takes over me. I sound really crazy. And I would have been on them daycare workers like white on rice. I would not have been able to control myself, because the fact is that they are in a position of power. I have entrusted them to watch my children, and then I walk in with my toddler twerking to stripper music. I'm just saying there's a 50% chance that I might not be able to control myself in that moment. I would be so angry at these people pushing this demonic bullshit on my child. I might need you to come get me out of jail. You know what I mean? Have y'all not seen that video? God, I don't even want to look this up, because the title alone is just so bad. I don't know if I can find it. I know there's a father that like drops his kid off and does a skit. I'll have to find it and repost it. It's disturbing. Good morning, Miss Burgess. Is it Shelby? Is that Shelby? I can't find it, y'all, but oh, you know what?
People shower.
Is this it? No. So all I know is there was a parent that walked into a daycare. There was approximately 5 to 8 children, and I'm talking these baby girls are babies, y'all. They're like 2 to maybe 4 years old. So this would be like daycare, preschool, like right before preschool, actually. So a parent walks in, and there are these children with like a karaoke machine, and they are singing. Who sings that song? Hands on My Knees. It's a very perverse rap song. And these kids are twerking, dancing, while singing Sexy Red. I would love to play y'all this song, but I know that this video will get taken down, so I can't. First of all, let me start by saying, we don't let children listen to Sexy Red. We don't let children listen to Cardi B. That is not children's music. It actually has an E on the cover for explicit. Anyone that allows their children to listen to that type of music, you're a horrible parent. You are. You absolutely are. Tupac, Bone Thugs, 3-6 Mafia, all of that led me to prison. I did 5 years because I grew up on Tupac, Biggie, 3-6 Mafia, Bone Thugs. I really thought that, like, you know, I was the leader of my own gang, okay? So this is why in early childhood development, we don't let children listen to explicit music. It is not good for them. It conditions them to behave in ungodly ways, whether it's cussing, violence, or sexual activity. It absolutely is a gateway to your child becoming a damn heathen. I've always felt this way, even when I had my daughter. So, very interesting how I see other people raising their children. But once again, I'm the child abuser, and, you know, thank God has blessed me with this platform, because it's definitely been a way for me to heal. I just don't understand this evil world. It's not good. It's not good. You know, that music is the devil's playground. And y'all know I love rap. I listen to a lot of rap. Here recently, I haven't. Yeah, here recently, this morning I caught myself. I actually put on some Upchurch song, and Ryan Upchurch, which is a country rapper. And I said, wait a second, I don't want to listen to this. It's too much this morning. And I cut on Kirk Franklin. I don't know. I just think that what we listen to, what we see, what we put ourselves around, people, places, and things absolutely condition us to believe in certain things, feel certain ways. And I think that you need to be careful about that, especially out here in a world that is evil. Music is my life. I love music. Y'all know I love to sing. Y'all know I love to just music. So I have to be careful with that, because music can put me in a bad mood, and I've noticed that. If I wake up and start listening to damn murder, more murder, you know, first thing in the morning by some damn Bone Thugs, it's going to put you in a mood. It's going to kind of dictate how your day goes. And if it doesn't, then maybe you're just not in tune. But most people, it does. And psychologists, you know, they've done studies on this, how music can manipulate your brain. So very interesting stuff. It's just shocking to me that whoever's kids those was in that video, it's shocking to me that those daycare workers were still alive. Because I'm here to tell you, somebody would have been going to the hospital at the very least. If I catch you teaching my child some nasty shit like that, we gonna have problems. Plain and simple. And this is why I had problems as a parent. Yeah, Taylor Swift is another one. Thank you. Listen, I used to be a big T-Swizzle fan. I do not support Taylor anymore. At all. I won't even listen to her music. So, it's a shame that she sold her soul for fame. Taylor started out as a nobody. I mean, she was just some high school girl that knew how to write music and play the guitar, and she took the whole West by surprise with her lyrical genius ways when it comes to writing songs. But when we really think about the behavior of Taylor, the lifestyle of Taylor, who Taylor supports, I wouldn't recommend letting teenage girls fall into Taylor Swift, because teenage girls are going to think that it's normal to bounce from man to man to man to man to man. And it's not. It is not normal to be promiscuous. I'm not going to say the word right, but promiscuity is behavior that we see with damaged people. Yeah, people who are lost, people who are seeking something that they're not going to find in hookup culture, but whatever. You can't tell them that. Taylor Swift is not a good idol for a child, because Taylor Swift, in my opinion, teaches children, young girls, that it is perfectly normal to flip-flop from man to man to man to man. I just think that that is problematic in itself, but also Taylor doesn't know who she is. For instance, this election that we just had, it was very clear that Taylor voted for Joe Biden and planned to do it again and blah, 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 blah. And I just think that she's an idiot. I think you're an idiot. You don't even know who listens to you. You really thought that it was just a bunch of gay people that listens to you? I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but most of the people that listen to you were conservative. They were. That's who got your start. That's who put you on the map. Remember, you were a country artist before you were some, I don't even know, pop star. I just think that Taylor forgot her place. She forgot her people. She lost her soul. She sold her soul. And at this point, she's the crazy cat lady, And nobody wants to be affiliated with her or date her. I mean, Travis. But who thinks that that relationship is real? Because I don't. I think it's a publicity stunt. I figured by now they'd be broke up. If they get married, I'll die. He gonna have his hands full with that one. That's all I got to say. Because he's a normal guy. He's a celebrity, but him and his brother, for the most part, are normal guys. And I just think that Taylor, with the whole election thing, she had the perfect moment to help society. And she missed it. She missed her mark. Instead, she was out here supporting the LGBTQ+. And she's a prime example of not knowing what a Christian can be. She says that she's a Christian. Well, you can't be a Christian and support the LGBTQ+, baby. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. You can't take God's word and manipulate it into whatever is convenient for your life. But you see a lot of churches doing that when they're allowing the LGB to walk in them church doors. I don't want to be affiliated with a church like that, because that's not a real church. That's Satan. That's Satan. And that's how easy it is to condition folks and to let the devil creep in to your space. Yeah, no. And another thing I don't like about Taylor Swift, Christina, I agree. She almost puts so much emphasis on finding love, and she leaves out self-love, self-care, and the purpose of loving oneself. It's like every single song is chasing some man, breaking up with some man. It's like there's so much more to life than sex. There's so much more to life than a fling or a simple relationship. You know what I mean? It's like she doesn't focus on what's important in life. So I find that problematic. I feel like hookup culture is so bad, you guys. Like, it's so bad. We all know this. But I feel like she's aided in that with her music. I mean, you can see a significant difference in hookup culture. I mean, there's married couples out here with pineapples on their front porch. Do you know what that means? That means that they're swingers. Yeah, the pineapple stickers on the back of the cars, that's a swinger. And listen, to anyone that has a pineapple on their car or their home, honey, you better go take it down, because that's what it means. It's telling the whole neighborhood that you and your husband want to screw the whole neighborhood. Crazy. Things like that have gotten so prevalent. I'm here to tell you that things like Taylor Swift working for the LGBTQ+ has made things like that more prevalent. When people see other people doing evil, they're like, oh, well, if they can do that, I can do this. And so they start. And it's like a wildfire. And it just starts spreading. That bad behavior, that hookup, that gay, lesbian, non-binary trans cat can go mate with this non-binary cow, and all of a sudden, now we got people out here acting like cats and dogs. I mean, I'm telling you, it's people like Taylor Swift that have made these issues 10 times worse. She's very problematic. She's caused a lot of problems. And listen, she's harmed more than she's helped. By far. By far. Oh, I mean, God says it's a sin. We are all sinners. I actually had 4 kids out of wedlock. Newsflash. I have 2 children, and I lost 2 children. So, yeah, this is why I talk about these things, because I want people to know that it doesn't matter what mistakes you've made. You can start over, fresh slate today, and change your life. But you got to really know what God meant in his word, because these churches out here nowadays, they be twisting the word of God so that they can get more people through the doors, so that they can make more money. See, they allow the LGB to come into churches, or non-denominational churches will have more people come in. Well, if we say that we're not Catholic, and we say we're not Baptist, and we say that we're non-denominational, then we'll get every religion in here, and we'll make more money. It's problematic. Yes, having children out of wedlock is a sin, and, you know, I've talked about my upbringing. My parents didn't teach me anything. My parents were essentially useless. They fed me half the time, until they put locks on the cabinets. But they fed me, and they put a roof over my head until the Department of Social Services took me several times because of the abuse going on in the home. I was a ward of the state until I was 16 years of age. My parents then took me back for just a few months so my dad could molest me some more. And that was actually the first time with that one. That was my second dad. My first dad went to prison for molesting me. So as you can hear, I had a pretty rough upbringing. And this is why I talk about these things. And this is why I appreciate people like Pierre Poilievre. Listen, J.D. Vance, people that have actually been through things, people who have actually suffered, people that have experienced the things that I've experienced, like the foster care system, drug addiction, losing your children to foster care, stuff like that. I appreciate people like that because they've actually been through stuff. Taylor Swift has never been through anything. Okay, you lost a cat. Your best friend from middle school died. And I'm not discounting how it impacted her. I'm just saying that without going through things, you can't really obtain wisdom. Taylor Swift has had a silver spoon up her ass for 2 decades. She has coerced, conditioned young girls to put their worth into their bodies, not into their minds and souls. She has taught young women to continuously cultivate new relationships when their current relationship does not work out. That is problematic. Huge problematic. So you're telling young girls, if you don't get your way, then to just leave him and go find somebody else. Well, that's not a relationship, nor is that even healthy for her or anyone else. Like, that's crazy. And that is the culture behind Taylor Swift, not to mention she reps for the LGBTQ+. So that's problematic in itself. Once again, you cannot rep for the LGBTQ+ and be a true Christian. Doesn't work like that. Did you see, can we call him PP? Yes, we can. PP from Canada. I mean, that's his initials. A pastor who was openly gay. Did you see the pastor at the Trump and J.D. Vance? When was that? When they had that seminar, and it was like they were all sitting in church, and it's Vance, Trump, Melania, J.D. Vance's wife, and there is a clearly lesbian pastor that gets up there and starts speaking. Y'all, it was wild. Where was that? Who was the gay pastor that spoke at Trump's inauguration? It was the day of the inauguration. She was a bishop, Reverend Morena Buddy. She was at his prayer service, and she gave a gay speech the day that he was inaugurated, or it was the day after, I think. And she gets up there with her buzz cut and all. It was crazy, y'all. Well, if you haven't seen that video, I should post it, but it was crazy. So she's a gay pastor. And I almost wonder why they let her talk after he was elected. Like, it was kind of like, are they doing this just to make a point of how bad things had gotten in this country, that we have gay pastors out here? That is demonic. You cannot have a gay pastor. It's oxymoronic in God's eyes and God's word. It's not allowed. Thank you. It is. It's blasphemous. It's an abomination. That is not allowed. Anyone following a gay pastor, or anyone following a gay pastor, anyone following a church that supports the LGBTQ plus, is not following the word of God. You are putting your life, your afterlife, your future in danger. It's so crazy. I just don't understand how we got here. God has zero tolerance for homosexuality. Zero. None. And don't get me wrong, I feel bad for the gay people who are struggling in this, but it is my belief that they go through something that make them behave this way. And it's not really my business what they want to do with their lives. I do feel bad for people that are gay and can't know the Lord because they're gay. And I would advise people like that to start with talk therapy. You need a clinical psychologist and a therapist. You're going to start with an assessment, and you're going to start therapy. I'm not talking about conversion therapy where they're hooking you up to electrodes and dipping you in water. I'm talking about simply sitting down in a chair and talking about what happened to you. It's not that hard. The LGB, they say that therapy is bad. That was her. And that looks like a damn man. Listen, I know you can't even see it, but it don't matter if there was resolution, baby. She looks the same. It's a man. It looks like a man. So she's a Washington bishop. And during this was bishop at the inaugural prayer service. So this was after his inauguration. This was the inaugural prayer service. They put an LGBTQ plus person up there to speak. The looks on Vance's face, Trump's face, Melania's face is hilarious. You can go find this probably on NBC because they really bashed everybody that was elected on how they reacted to this woman speaking. I'm right there with Trump and them. Y'all know I make some crazy ass faces. I would have been over there like, listen, I might have been the one to stand up and say, absolutely not. Like, I'm not joking. This is why I don't work in places like this, because I would have pulled her ass up out of this church. Do you hear me? I swear. I could not sit there during a sermon like this and not say something. I don't care where I was. Don't let me roll up in the wrong Baptist church down here in South North Florida, honey. Y'all hear about I was arrested at church. It was because they had they had a bishop that was gay. You know what I mean? Y'all ever hear, why was she arrested at church? How did that happen? They was repping for the LGB, and I stood up and said, absolutely not. This is an abomination. We are all going to hell. Boom, Brooks in jail. I don't know if I could have stayed in my seat for this. I really give props to Vance, Melania, everybody that had to sit here through this bullshit. It was literally one of the hardest things to even listen to, because she gets up there and she's begging Trump to have mercy on the LGBTQ plus. Girl, I think listen, I know you slow, but I think you're asking the wrong person for mercy. Like, Trump is the all-seeing God. You know, like, what? No, girl, you need to ask God for mercy. So it looks like this is an Episcopal bishop of Washington, and I'm not saying that right. This was post-inauguration day. It was a ceremony at the Washington National Cathedral. So this lady is in an actual church. Not just any church, a cathedral. Probably one of our oldest churches in America. I'd be willing to bet on that. And she's up there in the middle of a church asking Trump to show grace to the LGBTQ+, the day after his inauguration. And she says, in the name of our God, can I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now? I remember this. I was sitting there like, what is she talking about? She's talking about the LGBTQ+. They're terrified. Isn't that ironic? Because I've been pretty terrified for the past 4 years watching balls on the Olympics. Full display. Whole set of gonads right out there around children. The pride parades, okay? They make everybody feel uncomfortable. It's kind of funny that all of a sudden we get a new president and you guys are scared. We've been scared for 5 years. We've been terrified that you're going to brainwash our children and castrate them. So ironic. We're so scared. So she says, there are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in the Democratic, Republican, and Independent families, some of who fear for their lives. This is a reverend in front of the president after inauguration. And I'm sure there's a lot of Christians, I'm going to start using that very lightly, Christians that agreed with her. And I would tell those Christians that you're part of the problem and you're going to burn in hell for supporting blasphemy. Thank you. I needed those words. Who said that? I know those words. Those are perfect words. Thank you, Bullseye Man. Blasphemous and abomination. I know those words. I do know big words if they come out of the Bible. Like, yeah, that's crazy. I think it's crazy that we've allowed this to take place. I do. And I don't think that things are going to get better until we fall back to God. Yeah, for real. Imagine standing up when she was giving that speech and saying, I rebuke you. You are Satan. Not today, Satan. It would have been so great. I want to go get baptized again, Eric. I bet there's a church around here that does baptism. Here's what I want to do first, though. I don't want to jump in because I don't trust these people. Churches are right up there to financial institutions. Like, they're just as bad as financial institutions. Listen, I'm not saying all churches are bad. Churches are great if they're operating the way that they should be and they're operating in the word of the Lord. A lot of churches, especially mega churches, they use their congregation as a means to live. We see this with a lot of huge pastors. Joby Martin, is that his name? We talked about him earlier the other day. Stephen Furtick. Some of the old pastors, I can't remember. Wasn't it like Billy Graham? There was another woman that y'all, there's been so many. I want to make sure that I can find a church that is actually operating, being ran, and teaching the actual word of Christ before I get baptized anywhere. I want to find a good church that I can join their community and then get rebaptized. Yeah, I think that I want to check out this Baptist Catholic church, actually. How does that work? Is it just, I don't know. That's a great question. How does that work? Yeah, that's what I grew up with, Baptist. Yeah, how does that work, Jessica? That's what I'm saying. I don't think Pentecostal is very Bible accurate. I grew up around a lot of Pentecostals. You'd see them aren't those the girls that wear the long skirts and the buns in their hair? Do they have very strict clothing, dressing policies in Pentecostal? No pants. Okay, yes. I grew up around a lot of Pentecostals. We would randomly run into them at the grocery store. They always had their hair up in a secure bun. you could tell by the size of the bun that them girls had some hair too. It's almost like they weren't allowed to cut their hair or something. Is that what, were y'all not allowed to cut your hair, Jessica? So they would always wear a bun, usually long sleeves, and a long sleeve like jean skirt. I mean, you would see whole groups of them at the mall. And here's the thing, you ain't conversing with no Pentecostal. You can't just stop them and say, hey, how you doing? You want to come to my Baptist church? Absolutely not. Like, there would be so many of them. It's almost like dealing with the Amish. Like, you're not going to be able to infiltrate their congregation because they keep a distance from people. I kind of appreciate that. I really do, because God tells us that you have to be careful about people, places, and things. Just associating with certain groups of people will get you intertwined with the devil's work. And so, the Pentecostal church I go to isn't looking like the Amish. No. I didn't mean it like they look like that. I mean that, like, you know how the Amish are very close-knit and they do everything community-based together? The Pentecostals, where I'm from, behave that way. They were very close-knit organization and, church, for lack of a better word. They were very close-knit and they were very community-based, and I respect that. But also, it's not the type of community, just like the Amish. You're not going to show up at the Pentecostal church and think that they're going to be accepting of your LGBTQ. You can't just show up as a gay person at the Pentecostal church and think you're going to join their service. The Amish is the same way. You can't just show up and decide you're going to be Amish today. They're very close-knit. Yes, I agree. Very loving. They speak in tongues. I've been to some churches where them women would, usually African churches, they be out there dancing. And then all of a sudden they're like back on their knees saying something. I'm like, oh Lord, what am I doing? I was a kid. I was in foster care and I saw stuff like that. Very interesting. I'm not denying that. I don't know about that. We'll have to crack into that later on in life. But I've seen some things in some African churches that really shocked me, as a child. You see some things. Yeah, I think that, the Pentecostals, Jessica, aren't they more like, they're very religious. The reason there's no makeup, no emphasis, is because of the over-sexualization of people in the world, correct? They're trying to be true to God's word and conservative. Listen, we'll make it there. It's hot. Isn't that why they cover up like that? Is because they take God's word literally? Very modest, yeah. I respect that, though, because that's what God wants. That's what God means when he says to be like him. He means literally, and I can tell you one thing. God would not be out here. God, I don't even want to speak about him that way. Anyways, I can tell you one thing. Anybody that is out here, let me rephrase this. Anyone that is out here at the darn Summer Olympics with their gonads out, half naked with face paint on, dancing naked in front of children, that is not being like God. I can promise you that. Christian means to be Christ-like, exactly. I think the hardest part for me is going to be overcoming the death penalty. I'm not in a place. I just think we need it. That guy was killed by firing squad in South Carolina, and it actually made my little heart tingle a little bit. I'm sorry. I just don't know where, it probably comes from a deep hatred of pedophiles because of all of the experiences I've been through because of pedophiles. So it's something I'm working on, but I appreciate the death penalty, and I know that it's not Christ-like to want people to die because they harm children, but I guess this is why building a relationship with God is important. It's just like a normal relationship with somebody you would have, except it's the most important relationship. It's trials and tribulations. Am I saying that right? Yeah, I know. I want to handle them, though. I do. I wish my job was to torture pedophiles. I really do. Can we start with my dad, my abuser, and maybe a couple other people that's on my list? And not torture them. I just want to talk to them for a minute. Can I get 2 minutes? And a sledgehammer, please. Matthew 18:16. Let's read it. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. That's as far as I can get, because I was in the Awareness program, and they made us learn all the Bible verses, and I forgot them all. Ooh, I like it. Thank you, Rich. In the Bible, Matthew 18:6 says, quote, "But those whoso shall offend one of the little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea." Okay, so listen, God said that no, I'm joking. Whew. In this verse, Jesus is warning against the leadings of others astray and causing them to sin. The image of being drowned with a millstone around his neck is meant to be called to take the warning seriously. But this one says something about offending children. The scripture says, hold on, listen, this is why I don't like Google. Let's read the scripture, because those are two different things. "But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me." He is talking about children. Little ones. That's a child. God is saying, anyone who shall offend one of these little ones who believeth in me, it were better for that person that a millstone were hanged about his neck and he was drowned. For some reason, Google says this is something about a warning. Yeah, this is a warning to pedophiles. Jesus is saying that you are better off with a rock around your neck being drowned in the ocean than messing with a child. It is a warning. It's a warning against pedophiles. Damn you, Google. We are all his children. Hey, that's true too, but it does say little ones, which is interesting. Hold on, let's question it. What does Jesus mean when he says little ones in the Bible? Yes. It says to refer to his disciples or believers in Jesus regardless of age. Jesus is only using a child to illustrate what a person must be like in order to be converted. All believers, whatever their age. You're right. I don't know. I take it a little more literally than that, especially given that scripture being so... "But whosoever shall offend one of these little ones which believeth in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea." Dang, I like that. Interesting. I'm at work getting paid salary. I suggest you do the same. I do. Thank you for supporting my channel. Do you know our Lord Jesus Christ? Oh, God. 21? I don't know. Your brain's not even developed by then. I think that, are you talking about, like, when we're taught right from wrong, and, like, when we know the difference between right and wrong? I feel like we know a lot earlier than that, the difference between right and wrong, but it's getting hot, y'all. I wonder if the park's open. This dude out here all in my business. Ooh, this is interesting. "If anyone causes one of these little ones who believe in me to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck." So he's talking about being a deceiver and leading people in the wrong direction. But in the King, that's a different version from a different Bible. In the King James Version, but those who shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for that a millstone were hung around his neck and he were drowned in the depths of the sea. So there's different variations that I'm looking at. There's like 6 different variations. They're all pretty similar. I take many takeaways from that one quote. I take it literally, figuratively. I take it in whole as like he's talking about everybody, but I also take it in as in he's also talking about children specifically. I mean, I really think that the Word of God is literal, but it's also left up to interpretation throughout the Bible. And you know, like, I feel like, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like you need to take it, you know, the commandments quite literally. And then his scripture, it has multitude of meanings. There we go. It has a multitude of meanings. The passages, the scripture, taking it literally is one thing. But you can also, you know how like Animal Farm, there's multiple angles to look at that book from different perspectives. It's the same thing with scripture, in my opinion. You have to look at it. It can apply, kind of like your horoscope. It can apply, and I don't read that stuff anymore, but it kind of can apply in multiple different ways, is what I'm trying to say. A multitude of ways it can work for your life. You can take away a lot in multiple different ways. You know what I mean? I think I sound crazy. The Bible to translate. Yeah, I guess I'm stuck with the King James Version until I'm able to go to Israel. But I was reading some of the Torah last night, which is very interesting. I mean, it's the New Testament, so like, you know, Judaism is what Christianity branched off from. Without Judaism, Christianity wouldn't even be what it is today. So I don't think that Judaism is the enemy. I think that multiple things can be true at once. I don't know. I kind of understand Ben a little bit better now that I've ventured into the Torah and some of, you know, Jewish belief. I understand Ben a lot more now, Ben Shapiro. I know a lot of people don't like him. A lot of people love him or hate him. You don't really, a lot of people don't have, that's what I meant. Thank you, Eric. That's what I meant. It is bullseye. It is tarot cards. You know, and that's another thing. When we're talking about Hollywood being demonic, if you go through and look at what these women carry in their purses, it is mind-blowing. Crystals, tarot cards, sage, all of this witchcraft stuff that these celebrities have in their purse. And matter of fact, Jennifer Lopez's ex-husband, in their divorce proceedings, in court documents, it is recorded that Jennifer Lopez used to behead chickens and visit a witch doctor that would cover Jennifer in chicken blood, allegedly. So people like Jennifer Lopez, Vanessa Hudgens, they are out in the open with this, allegedly. Well, Vanessa Hudgens is. She has a special on YouTube you can go watch where she talks about being a witch. And it was an introduction on like Entertainment Tonight. It's to condition people to think that it's normal to be in pagan beliefs, Wicca, whatever you want to call it. It's demonic, okay? That is not Christianity. That's the demon. That's demons. Jennifer Aniston scares the bejesus out of me. Me too. Listen, there's so many of them. Gigi Hadid, her sister, they all have crystals. Any person that is carrying around crystals, you need to run from. Like, book it, girl. Because that's not God. That's worshiping false idols. Those crystals that they put so much faith into, that they pray over, that's worshiping a false idol. That's worshiping another God. Anne Hathaway was one of them. Yep. You know, it's crazy because a lot of these celebrities are out in the open with it, and like they go on Vanity Fair and they like dump out their purses, and you can see all of these crystals and the sage and all of this stuff. And what they're really doing is they're conditioning the upcoming generation to think that this is normal behavior, and what it is it's the devil's work. But just showing that on Vanity Fair is getting society comfortable with witches practicing magic out in the open. It's crazy. It's crazy. And you know, the sad part is these people feel like they're enlightened. Woo, honey, you couldn't be so far lost, you don't even know what's up and what's down. All you know is that you're depressed and you feel bad all the time and you feel like crap and you cry all the time and you pray to your crystals and things never get better. Ask me how I know. I don't know, man. I think that God would be very disappointed. I think he is. Maybe not. He knew what he was doing when he gave us free will. You know what I mean? Maybe he's not disappointed. Maybe he's just like me. He knew what would happen. I always know what's going down. So maybe he knew, you know. I just think that he would be disappointed in me for the way that I've behaved in the past. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that everything that we listen to, most of what we watch on TV, pretty much everything we watch on TV, specifically if it's news, we're all being conditioned. And I feel like that's part of the reason society has fallen away from God. We've been getting conditioned for years. You know, my family, it's crazy because my mother raised me in the church, but she never went to church. How do you do that? How do you raise children in the church, but you as yourself as parents never step foot in a church? Well, let me tell you, the way they did it in the 90s was they sent you to church with your grandparents. I really believe that my mother's generation was she was born in the 60s, and I believe that that was one of the first generations that really revolted against God and his word, but I could be wrong. I'd have to go back and look in history. This is just from my own personal experience with my family history. My mother seemingly was the first to kind of revolt against the church and Jesus Christ. Now, it's not that she didn't know Jesus, because when she died, she was saved and she had converted to Christianity, and she asked Jesus to save her and come into her heart. And so it is my belief, hopefully, that she is in heaven so that I can see her one day. I don't see why she would have went to hell other than she was not a believer for the good majority, the first 37 years of her life. She didn't care for it. That last year, before she died from cancer, somehow she found God. And so I hope and I know that I'm going to get to see her again. But in the 90s, my parents would send us with my grandparents, my grandmother, and my grandmother's family were heavily involved in the church, and they still are. And this is my aunt and uncle that I talk about all the time, who I don't really, you know, we chat, but I don't have a close relationship with these people that much, you know. And I think a lot of that is age, you know. They're much older than me. We got 50, 60, 70 years apart from us. They're in their 70s. And I think that it's age. I think that we are from two different generations, and it makes it really hard for us to connect. They go to a traditional church where the LGBTQ plus is not supported, and I appreciate that. That's part of the reason I feel the way that I do now, was because I was not corrupted and conditioned by a church to think that it was normal to allow the LGBTQ plus to just have free reign of the congregation, okay? But I'm here to tell you that, like, I feel like my mom's generation was one of the first that revolted against the church. And so it's kind of a miracle that I even know anything about Christ, because my mother and my father did not actively participate in church services. But I do think that after my mom's generation, less and less people were exposed to Jesus Christ. And continuously, at this point, God is the most disliked person on earth. I can walk up to people right now and be like, hey, do you know Christ? And they would probably cuss me out. And that's crazy. That's crazy. They mock him. They talk poorly of him. It's just not okay. I don't know. I think that between the world and the churches dying, between people behaving in evil and being complicit in evil, and the churches not really knowing their mission, okay, it's problematic. I really hope that I can find a good church. I really do. I want to go to church. Yeah, when I saw that darn light the other day, I just knew that we was about to get raptured. And I don't even want to talk about that because there's too many non-believers amongst us out here. I don't want to hear it. So we're going to go to the park. It's coming out, everybody. What movie was that? I feel like it was Toy Story or something. Yeah, Judaism, I got to looking into Jewish faith and all of that, and they actually don't know. They think Hinduism was the first religion, but it could have been Judaism. One of the two. They're not really clear. Well, when I was doing my research, but y'all know how the internet is now. I don't know. I think that religion has been used since the beginning of time to control the masses and get the masses to behave a certain way, and so that's really concerning for me. I'm not saying that the King James Version Bible isn't a proper they took it from Hebrew into English, so they had to translate it. I'm not saying that it's not a proper translation, but what I am saying is those 12 or 13 books that are missing out of the Bible should absolutely be in the Bible. We know that King James was not a good guy. We know that part of the reason that Bible was even written was not even his mission. It was it was Scotland's. I'm sorry. I just think that there's probably more information about the Lord that we'll never know, and it's unfortunate. That whole scandal blew my mind. King James, his family, that's wild. That was like reading the Game of Thrones front to cover, just a different edition. The guy that wrote the King, and he didn't write it. He financed the translation of the Hebrew sea scrolls into the King James Version Bible. So, but he was not a good person. But he also had a horrible upbringing. I'm not saying that gives him the right to do what he did. I'm just saying that's why he did what he did. He wasn't right in the head. This is why early childhood development is essential. Rearing the children in the right way is essential. Because if not, they come out like Ted Bundy, Ted Kaczynski, King James. It's crazy. Ethan Crumbly. Wasn't his mom a crackhead? The school shooting guy? Yeah, I think that's him. There was one of them. His sister got on the stand to testify why her brother shot up a school, and she was in prison too. They had to pull her out the county jail to even testify against her brother. Both up without telling me. He's in prison. He's on trial for shooting and killing people in a school. You're in jail for God knows what. They pull you out the county jail to testify against your brother. And it is one of the most heartbreaking things. Even to this day, when I start to watch her on the stand, I break down. It is the most heartbreaking. Sorry, I gotta pay to get in. Good morning. So it's already 67. But it feels warmer when the sun's beating down on this black truck. I suffocate.
I think it's just gonna keep getting warmer.
I hope so. Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. Y'all, she thought I was talking to her and I was talking to y'all, but it's okay. I'll talk to you too, girl. How you doing? She's gorgeous. She really is. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think that we got to be careful trusting too many people. It's always good to question things, man. It's going to cause you a lot of problems. I ain't going to lie. It's going to put a target on your back. People going to hate you for asking questions. But if you don't want to be a sheep, that's what you have to do in life. Gotta kind of ruffle some feathers, go against the grain, ask them tough questions, question people. You know, if it doesn't make sense, it's probably a lie. So, do you want to be sheep or... Yeah, do you want to be a sheep or do you want to be a warrior of God? I don't know, but I know I ain't no sheep. I might not be a warrior yet, but we working on it. Good morning. I like your motorhome. Well, it looks like it might clear up. It said it was going to rain until, like, I think 1 o'clock. I need to look at the weather and see if they're going to call for it again. It's so pretty in here, y'all. Look. Yes. Well, between my cracked phone and the cracked windshield. See, what happened was a rock hit it, and it started spreading. It's gorgeous. Thanks. I hope you have a wonderful day. Y'all inspire me. I woke up this morning and I said, well, I guess let's go get breakfast and talk about Jesus. It was literally the first thing on my mind. Because, well, I went to bed learning about that cloth, and which I already knew about. I learned about that like 20 years ago. I don't think so. I don't remember. I remember hearing about the cloth a few years back, and then they started doing like tests on it, and that's what I was watching last night. The Shroud of Turin. So pretty. I wonder how hot it's supposed to be today. It feels warm already. She said it's supposed to be 76. I saw the board behind her. She didn't say that. She just looked behind her and said, yeah, it's going to be warm. And it was 76. That's what she was saying, though. You know what I mean? She didn't need to say it. She just... Let's see. So hot, I got to open the door. I was sitting at a gas station. I don't like to, like, open my car when I'm out there. I had some weird dude do this weird thing the other day. I guess he saw that my door was open and he, like, let his dog off the leash to, like, come up to my car to try to have contact with me. I guess he was looking for a conversation, honey, and so he sent his dog over to greet me first and then was thinking that I'd be like, oh, what a cute dog. What's your name? You want to get married? I don't know, but that's what they do. And I was just like, boy, you do not know who you're dealing with. You better get that damn dog away from me. Like, you know, I don't know if it bites. It looked feral, so I don't know. It looked more feral than I look right now, so it was concerning. It says it's 90% chance of rain right now, but I think it's going to stop. Today's temperature will be 6 degrees higher. Cheers! Yeah, I know. That's a great point. Targets for the devil. Is that why I've always had all these problems? That's what it feels like. I bet the park will be dead today because it's wet. So this girl went missing in the Dominican Republic. University of Pittsburgh student. She traveled to the DR. She's only 20 years old. Shadaska Konanika? No, Konanki. Oh my God, so pretty. Sun worship. That's interesting. I know we've been worshiping stuff all throughout history. No, baby girl. Y'all, listen, we don't travel to foreign countries and hang out with strange men. So it looks like this girl was 20. She's from Virginia. She went to the University of Pittsburgh. She went to the DR with some friends. So it looks like she traveled to the beach with 5 women that she was traveling with when she got to the DR. They were accompanied by 2 other American men. This already sounds sketchy as hell from the start. She stayed on the beach with one of the men while the rest of the group returned to the hotel. Nobody has been detained, and the investigation is still ongoing, and they have not found her. So the first thing we need to do is go back and figure out who these 2 American men were. Like, I don't be knowing what they doing in police investigations. I really don't. Like, there's no time to waste. The moment she went missing, both of those men that were on the beach should have been pulled into interrogation. It's been days. I don't even know if they know who these men are. Let's see. Well, unfortunately, I don't think that she's going to be found alive. I mean, she was absolutely breathtaking. Yeah, I know, that's where they be doing all that damn witchcraft and stuff. That's why we had people in Springfield damn killing geese and stuff. Remember that? They tried to say it didn't happen, and I got pictures of it. I have videos on my channel of it, but it wasn't happening. It doesn't tell me what's happening with her. I don't think that's the same place. I think I got it mixed up. Hold on one second. Is the primary religion witchcraft in the DR? The religion of the DR. Afro-Caribbean beliefs, witchcraft, voodoo. Yeah, that's what I thought. My phone's not working right here, y'all. It happened. I know, right? It's crazy. So it looks like Catholicism, unaffiliated Protestant, or Protestantism are the 3 top religions in there. But I thought, where is Hades? No, like, Where do Haitians hail from? Oh, West and Central Africa. That's not the same. It says Haitians have been facing chronic poverty and other serious problems due to economic, political, and social difficulties. Like we haven't in the West? Are you kidding right now? It's an island. Okay. It's on the same island as Haiti. Is that what you meant, Eric? It's on the same island as Hades? Because I'm not understanding. That's what's throwing me off. I'm like, is it... So Haitians are African. Yeah, so it shares an island with Hispaniola and Haiti to the west. It looks beautiful, but listen, I had a girlfriend that went there that was a stripper that had some horror stories that happened to her, so I learn from other people's mistakes when I can. You know what I mean? And now this girl's missing. Beautiful 20-year-old girl. I wonder what happened. Oh, well, Leonardo DiCaprio should have been worried about this fucking country. Just like you should be, if you're an American. She's thought to have drowned. Bullshit. Bullshit. That's what the Dominican Republic reporters are saying. They're saying that they thought she had drowned. Is thought to have drowned, local officials say. Well, let me tell you one thing. This tells me that if she was killed, we'll never know. Because local officials are not even trying to do their damn job. They're just saying, oh, she drowned. Even though she was out there with multiple men, there was 2 men, and that's just from one news report I read. We don't know the true story. We weren't there. But she's 20 years old in another country with American men. I don't know. I just feel like they need to be looked at. Like, call me crazy, but usually the last person to see a victim is the suspect. So it looks like Monday, March 10th, she was walking on the beach with 6 people. No, they was March 5th. They literally have 2 different dates, a sentence apart. 6 people on Wednesday, March 5th. Most of the group went back to the hotel, but she had stayed on the beach with 1 other person. So where is this person, and why? When was the last time he saw her? They're saying it is believed that she had subsequently drowned in the ocean after being caught by a big wave after she and the other person went for a swim. However, the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office is pushing back at that determination, indicating it may have been premature and that there's no evidence to support that at this time. You think? You think? That's what I'm saying, boss. That's what I'm saying. Put me in, coach. Fly me to the DR. We're looking for a body. We're not looking for... I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm being realistic. We're looking for a body. Statistically speaking, there's more probable chance that he killed her than she drowned. Statistically speaking. Quote, the investigation is they're looking at everything from an accident to foul play. Interviews are ongoing along with review of the video and phone records. Y'all are dragging your freaking feet. She's been missing for days. Put me in, coach. So it looks like she was last seen at 4:15 a.m. on local time on Thursday, March 6th on surveillance footage. She is an Indian citizen, was traveling with Group 6 students. I'm sorry if that offends you. We can talk about this in 20 years when you're 40. And you let me know then how you feel about what I said today. So it looks like authorities then resumed the search at 6 a.m. local time on Sunday. I'm sorry, what? Y'all resumed? Why did you stop? Why did you stop? There is no resuming. This is an around-the-clock effort, 24/7, until we find this girl. What is going on out here, and why do I feel crazy? Chill bumps. They then started on March 9th, employing drones and helicopters from the country's armed forces, the agency stated in an update on Instagram alongside footage of the beach search. All I see is a bunch of volunteers standing around. Y'all should have been scouring through the damn woods. Feet to chest, bitch. I'm gonna need you to start looking. And quickly. I just don't understand what's going on in this world. Lord forbid, maybe this is why I ain't got no job, because I would literally work my employees to death, probably. We resume the search. Girl, you better go get you a cup of coffee, because you're going to be here all night. You want some Excedrin? We about to be trenching through the fucking swamplands looking for this 20-year-old girl. It is ridiculous that they would stop the search. That it could literally mean a chance of life or death. What if he did drag her out into the swampland, done something to her, maybe stabbed her in the throat? Lord forbid, but I'm just speaking hypothetically. Those hours that she is bleeding out, victims that had their throat slashed and they lived. Stop the search for a 20-year-old missing student nowhere on this earth. It's unacceptable. It's wrong. It's ethically wrong. When your job is to find missing people as a police officer, as a government official, we don't stop searches. I don't care if there's a hurricane on the way. I'm going to be out there looking for that girl. And my employees are too, or they ain't going to have a job. Because it's their job to do so. And Lord forbid, what if she just went for a walk, fell down, broke a leg, got bit by a bee? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying that those 8 hours or 6 hours or 4 hours or 2 hours of time that they took a break and then resumed search, that could have been life and death for her. And I just don't agree with it. And I want to point these inconsistencies out because this behavior is unacceptable when we're talking about law enforcement. I don't care what part of the world it's in. This behavior is unacceptable. We have a missing child. She needs to be found. It's a matter of life and death. Resuming the search after stopping the search is the stupidest thing I've ever read. They don't know where she is. And here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. This is blown up so bad, it makes it worse for her because the Dominican Republic makes tons, millions, billions of dollars off of us every year. Westerners traveling to the Dominican Republic, and I don't know this for sure. I'm just assuming because I've had friends go to the DR, so I'm sure that there's a huge tourism. It looks like from the pictures, they trying to entice me to come there today. So I can tell it's saying at this point, it's days later, the evidence, she was on a random beach with a random man. We need to see him. I don't know why he has not been questioned. If it's true that she drowned, still and yet we're looking for a body. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. I can't believe they stopped the search. Be careful going to the DR. Damn, you can't even vacation anymore. There was 3 tourists in America found dead in Mexico the other day. 3 tourists found dead in Mexico. 3 young girls, beautiful young girls. Good morning, Christina and Joey. Yeah, I don't know. It was 3 girls. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. They were staying at a luxury beachside resort. They were all found dead at, it was Belize. 3 American women found dead at the beach resort in Belize. 3 women were found dead over the weekend at a beach resort in Belize. 23-year-old, 24-year-old, 26-year-old. I cannot pronounce any of those names. I'm so sorry. They were staying at the Royal Call Beach Resort. It looks like the housing staff resort attempted to contact the women several times on Friday after they showed them entering their rooms Thursday night and not coming back out. After the staff received no response on Saturday morning, they used a master remains unconfirmed. And I do believe it was fentanyl, but I could be wrong. Hold on one second. Three women found dead at a resort in Belize. Autopsy. Yes, the cause of death. Hold on. I think I might be wrong. So it looks like they died from fluid buildup in their lungs. Acute pulmonary edema. What is that? It's caused by too much fluid in the lungs. But why would this happen? It looks like alcohol and gummies were also found in the women's room, which is expected. They were on vacation. What do you do on vacation? I mean, if you got a bunch of money to go get a damn massage and take a damn sky flight to see the city, good for you. But most people that go on vacation, they're going to be drinking and maybe eating a gummy to relax somewhere and enjoy the damn pool or something because they ain't got the damn money. They done damn spent $2,000 to fly to Belize. I'm just saying, like... I'm giving all my secrets away, what I like to do on vacation. I want to go sit my ass on the beach. All I want to do. Where is the tiki hut and the chair rental? Where's the concession stand and where's the chair rental? That's all I need. To identify what type of drugs, if any, were in the hotel. Well, how did they die? How do you die from pulmonary edema? Hold on one second. This don't even make sense. And if it don't make sense, it ain't true. This is out of Belize, too, so we're trusting the Belize authorities to tell us this, by the way. If we can't trust damn American authorities, how much you think we can trust the Belize authorities, honey? What was it? Pulmonary edema. What causes pulmonary edema, fluid in the lungs? Oh, you bitch. How would 3 women who are not even biologically related mysteriously die from the same mysterious illness? The 3 main causes of pulmonary edema, and I'm not saying that right, and it's too much fluid in the lungs, interfering, suffocated to death because of fluid in the lungs. Horrible. The problem is usually related to heart disease, but it has other possible causes, including kidney failure, blood transfusion reactions, or travel destinations to high elevation. New fear unlocked. Is Belize at a high elevation? No, Belize is not. So, no, that doesn't work. Most of the northern and southern parts of Belize, including the coastal areas, are flat and near sea level. That's not it. Overdose cause pulmonary edema.
According to pmc.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov, acute lung injury following fentanyl overdose is an unusual presentation. Pulmonary edema has been associated with opioid and naloxone use.
Bitch, you just contradicted yourself. You don't even make sense. Many drugs can cause pulmonary edema, including aspirin, illegal drugs, and other medications. Cocaine. Oh, wow. Inhaled crack cocaine can cause acute pulmonary symptoms like chest pain and cough. Heroin can cause pulmonary edema. Wow. So, listen. Call me crazy. But what we're going to do here is a lot of assuming. These girls already had marijuana, allegedly, gummies. They had gummies of some sort. So were they fentanyl gummies? Is that what killed them? Maybe. The gummies are being tested. The alcohol and gummies were there. I don't know, y'all. It sounds like they may have gotten a bad batch of fentanyl or some kind of opiates, and they thought that it was some kind of medical marijuana or marijuana. I don't know. But they all died from the same cause of death. And as we just learned, pulmonary edema, whatever it is, it can be caused by, it can be caused by drug use. Fentanyl. Listen to this. This is crazy. Speed. I believe it. Had they been scuba diving? Your question. Well, they were eating marijuanas and gum and alcohol, so I don't know. I don't know about scuba diving high, but I just know I wouldn't want to be scuba diving with that tank on my back after I done ate 1,000 milligram gummy. That's all I'm saying, because I'm gonna drown. I'm gonna drown. I don't know. It's crazy because they all three died of the same thing. So, and that pulmonary edema, you can't, either you have heart problems that causes you to have it, or you take a drug that causes you to have it, is essentially what I'm understanding from this. So you can have health conditions that causes you to have the pulmonary edema, but also drugs can cause your lungs to fill up with fluid. I did not know that. Hello, James. It does sound like an OD. It sounds like since they found gummies in the room and other paraphernalia type stuff, alcohol, it sounds like they probably were looking for some marijuana and maybe got a bad batch of gummies that were street made and full of fentanyl. That's the actual only logical explanation right now with the evidence that we have, is that they died from an overdose, which is sad. That's just getting chill bumps. It's sad. I think it was their autopsy, but I can't remember. Oh no, I don't got service. Especially placed with soap or cleanser. Don't they use... I've been to Mexico. It's not too bad, but I stayed at a resort, so that's probably why. I was safer. No, Mexico is one of those places I would take my kids to. You ain't, no. Yeah, you can go. But I'm chaperoning until you're 30. You know what I mean? We're going to go have fun together. Yeah, no, I'm not. Me personally, and this girl was from India, the girl that went missing in the DR, she's only 20 years old. I just feel like parents, listen, she was in America on a student visa from India because she was going to Penn. So I'm sure her parents trusted her, and I'm sure that she thought she was in no danger. But in my opinion, as a parent, they should have told her to enjoy herself in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. She shouldn't have been allowed to just... Yes, and you don't leave the resort. Thank you, Eric. Never leave the resort. When you're going to a place like Mexico or somewhere like that, don't leave the resort. Like, you are asking for problems, honey. They actually advised against it when I went to Mexico in 21 or 22. They told us that we could leave the resort, but they heavily advised against it. Not only that, we couldn't even swim in the water. It was so nasty in Mexico. And I stayed at the Hilton, which is a huge resort in the middle of Cancun. Out in the middle of nowhere, too. You got to take a darn 30-minute darn shuttle ride out to the Hilton in Cancun. It's way out there. I can't see this, but it says pulmonary edema is an often startling, largely ignored, although well-recognized consequence of heroin overdose. I hate to say it, y'all, but that's from an overdose. And judging by the fact that they found those gummies, it sounds like they were. So it looks like toxicology samples from the autopsy will also be sent to a lab in the United States for advanced testing. It can take up to 2 weeks for the results to come back. They even vomited. This was an overdose, y'all. So when they found the bodies of the 3 women in Belize, there was vomit next to each woman beside the bed. Tourists, don't be doing drugs. I think we learned from Liam, what was his name? Liam Payne, the one that jumped out of the hotel, window and died. Like, y'all, the world is a crazy place, and I would just advise not to be. Enjoy the sights. When you're traveling, screw the alcohol and the gummies and the cocaine and whatever you're trying to get in another country because you're just bored. Like, enjoy the sights. Enjoy the food. Spend that money on yourself. Like, it's too much of a risk. You might not make it back. And so many tourists are dying right now. People are being shot and kidnapped in Mexico. Women are dying from allegedly heroin overdoses in Belize, and then we have whole college students going missing in the DR. And as you can see, the Dominican Republic doesn't even really seem concerned about this girl because they stopped the search midway through the night. They stopped the search. So that tells you right there, they don't care. Not to mention they're being very secretive, very, very secretive. So I just think that maybe right now isn't the best time to be traveling abroad. Hell, you can. The United States is big and beautiful. We got tons of lands, tons of things to visit here. I just think we need to take a pause with travel for a short period of time. You seen the Grand Canyon? I ain't. We can go. I went to California once and I hated it so bad that now I'm dying to go see San Diego. So I really am. They say that like San Francisco, San Diego ain't that bad. It's more laid back than Los Angeles. I don't know if that's true, but I guess I'll have to find out for myself one day. Hell, at least I can drive there. I don't have to take a plane. That would be the plan, to just drive there. Y'all, it's starting to warm up. I don't know if I want to go to this gym appointment today. I set one up, but now I'm just like, God, maybe if I get in this shower house and do something with my life, I'll feel better. Ain't it Monday? That's weird. Usually they're closed on Monday. Arizona. Maybe one day I might make myself out west. If I do, it's going to be a slow journey. I want to go through the different states and enjoy myself. See what they got coming on. Go ahead. You can go. Okay. All right. Thank you. He's going. Little boy on his bicycle comes flying by and he stops right in front of the truck. And I'm like, you can go ahead. And he's like standing there. He's like, okay, I'll go ahead. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, you little polite boy. I don't know who's raising you, but your parents are probably gems. Because they're doing a good job on you, little buddy. Well, I'm going to run for now, y'all. I look like a monkey. That should be my logo for my channel. Oh, I'm such a kid. I know. Y'all, this milk went rotten overnight, and I took a big old chug this morning. I opened it up yesterday. Well, it might have been 2 days ago. I don't know when. I found it in the front floorboard, and it's half drinking, and these things are expensive. So I picked it up, and I thought that I'd opened it yesterday. I stuck it in the cup holder, wake up this morning, get on live, and start to take a big sip of it, and it freaking, oh, thank you. It freaking is rotten. I had to spit it back in there. Nope. Y'all can walk with me to the shower house. What in the world? Ew, what is that? The bag has something gross on it. Here, let's go to the bathhouse. Where's my toothbrush? There it is. Y'all can see how pretty it is here. Oh, I parked in a gigantic mud puddle. Oh my god. What is wrong with me? Why do I not pay attention? Well, at least I got a little bit of leaves. Look at that. It looks like a lake. Yeah, it's kind of been storming here in Florida. Just a little bit, you know. The roads are like disappearing. The concrete's washing away from the shoreline. And look at this. Well, at least God left me a little spot to park Betty. Stuff falling out of trees. Thank you for joining us. We've had a great time. I have always laughed my butt off, cry. Laugh and cry. Not in that order. Yo. I've turned into Adam Sandler. I just never match. I always look rough. I don't care what I look like anymore. I might brush my teeth if I can find the toothbrush. I'm joking. I brush my teeth religiously. But yeah, I've turned into Adam Sandler's little sister. I'm okay with it. I mean, he's a very down-to-earth guy. I mean, we should all be like Adam. That's funny. It's a pretty park. Beautiful trees. The rain got me. Toothpaste. You too, Jessica. I hope you have a wonderful day. Oh, God. Well, one thing's for sure. If anybody... I'm like, he said you look like $1 million. Maybe in trailer park money. Monopoly money? I look like I live out of a car, okay? Because I do. See my shower? And y'all, this floor that they paint this floor with like this gray paint. These Crocs, that's a no-go on that gray paint, man. Don't walk up in there and think you got to pee real bad and then hit a wet spot. It's over for you. Ask me how I know. Almost knocked my teeth out on one of the stall doors like a few years back. I was drunk. I stepped in there. I think I had on some Converse. Those can be slippery too. I don't understand it. Anyways, I was staying at this camping spot right here, and I ran in there, and I was drunk, and I went down, and I hit my face on the door, and I knocked my lip, and I just swore I'd knocked my teeth out. I didn't, but my lip was cut. It was crazy. That floor is slippery. You know what else? You know those, you get out the car, and like where you park, and it'll have the lines that are white and yellow? Crocs. Those painted lines in the parking spots be taking me out. The ones in Walmart, because you know the ones in Walmart, they got like the caution walks and stuff in front of the store. Those lines are so slippery. Look at this. Well, it's the Great Flood again. The Great Flood of Hannah Park. That is wild. It almost looks eerie, like I'm standing in a swamp. I mean, I am. That's a swamp. If only for today. A significant swamp, if you ask me. Everything's so wet. I hate it. So we ain't skating today because I don't want to rust my wheels. Oh. I definitely needed to use the bathroom and brush my teeth. How is it coming up? No. I can feel it. Ow, it hurts. You see it? I see it. Oh. Always something hanging out my nose. I feel better now. I was going to jump off the phone because I had to use the bathroom, but now I feel better. What's going on? Oh, you have a great day too. And I think I've been clean for almost 5 years now. I got clean right as the economy was taking a nosedive. What are the chances? You know? Crazy. I guess we can go find somewhere to do my glutes. I need to work out. Oh my God, this puddle. I mean, this puddle's so big, it has like sediment at the bottom of it like a river would. There was a park worker out here yesterday trying to get up some of this dirt, I guess, to prevent the flooding, but I think she was fighting a big fight by herself. That's a huge puddle. The roads were flooding like that last night when it was raining, and this morning it was raining really bad. The roads were flooding. When I came through Mayport Village, which is over by the naval base, all of the roads were just full of water. It just rained so much last night and this morning that things are flooding. It's a huge problem here in Florida. I think for the majority of Florida, they have flooding problems because they're surrounded by water, and then there's so many other water outlets. There's like all these streams and rivers and bayous and swamplands that, you know, flow together. So when it rains, it just all floods. I mean, it's exactly what happened to Western North Carolina when the dams were full and it rained for days and the flood happened. Oh my God, y'all. These little kids are so cute with their little book bags and walking sticks. I can't. They look like Cub Scouts. Too adorable. They're literally like not even 3 feet tall. How young is that? 4, 5? Honey. Cuteness overload. I'm going to perish right now, right here. I'm going to pass out from cuteness. There's a lot of schools that bring that, they do field trips here and stuff. You see little new hikers with their little book bags and their little walking sticks and their teachers. So adorable. I actually appreciate that. When I was a kid, we did class trips, and it'd be like a lot of museums. We didn't ever get out in the wilderness like I see these kids in Florida do. And I appreciate that. That's how you teach people to respect the earth, to respect themselves. You learn a lot from stuff like Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts. You learn community, friendship. Like, there's just so much that kids can learn from those Christian-based organizations. Because isn't the Cub Scouts and the Girl Scouts, and they have a history of doing crazy stuff? So I know before you tell me, I know. There's going to be bad apples all over this earth no matter what you're dipping your toes into. There's bad people everywhere. But Christian organizations are really good for the kids. And I think that the schools here focus, it seems to be a better focus on education, a different way. They don't behave, I'm out here quite a bit, and it just seems like the kids here in Florida are geared completely different than they are in North Carolina. I'm in Jacksonville. Do I have big gonads? I mean, I really do. Thank you, Ali Muhammad. I take it as a compliment. I don't, but figuratively, if you're wondering what's in this big old book bag, it's just balls. This is my collection. Yeah, this is my collection. And I like to keep them close to me since I don't have any. I like to just throw my balls around. As you can see, I like to just toss my... That's funny. Yep. Any of my exes that want them back, let me know. I can express mail them to you. Hey, Mandy. How are you? I am well. That's funny. I know. Oh, that's funny. Y'all know what I want to do today? After I work out, I want to go to Goodwill and see if they have any workout equipment that's cheap. I need dumbbells. I need like a barbell to lift, to curl. I want to see what they have. And if they just have some of those hand weights, I'll be happy with that. But I'm really needing stuff to work out here. So it sucks that I can't find nothing. I mean, I ain't looked. I can find stuff at Walmart, but it's expensive. I feel like I can buy some used stuff, maybe on Facebook or something. There's an eyelash. What is this? I don't know. There was something in my cup. We're going to wipe it down for good measure. Baby wipes. God's gift to me. I'm telling you, Fisher Price, Little Tykes, sponsor me. For real. And please send me some free baby wipes. I love you forever. Y'all think I'm joking? I have probably 2 or 3 different kinds running around here. Those are Lysol wipes. You're going to need them living out of a car. You're going to need them. Yeah, maybe we can run by Goodwill this afternoon before my gym appointment. I have a new gym that I'm going to go try. It's at 5 o'clock, though. I don't know if I'm going to make it, y'all. Y'all know that's like my bedtime. I get up early. I go to bed early. I'm going to do 1.5 of this. Approximately. This is Walmart brand. This was a great deal. 4.5 pounds almost of protein for $38. It's huge. It's like twice the size of my head. 40 grams in each scoop. 30 grams, I'm sorry. But this is chocolate, triple chocolate. Yes, they are. I like the ones from the Dollar Tree. They're so soft. Usually I get the Fisher Price ones. I got these because it has the closable thing. But I don't like these as much as the Fisher Price ones. These, I guess because they're soft, the fabric has this little, y'all see that? Fuzz. I guess because these were ultra soft, anytime I wash my face with these, if I just wipe my face down, those things are coming off on my face. And it gets up in your eye. Look at that right there. it'll get in your eye and stuff. And so I don't like these quite as much as the Fisher Price ones because of that, but it's okay. Beggars can't be choosers. Where is a fork? Fork. I need water. Water. Ouch. Agua? Would you like a sip? I like my protein. It's like really thick and coagulated. Sometimes. Aww. Can't buy me love, love. Why is it? Usually it breaks down really good. I don't understand. You know what? I think this is as good as it's going to get. I don't know what's going on today. I don't know if the baby white... I'm sorry. A little behind the scenes of what it's really like. I be hating them fitness videos where they're like acting like this shit's easy. Maybe for you if you smoke weed all the time or something, but for me, it's been a journey trying to gain weight. It's not easy. I mean, it is if I'm dating somebody and they make me depressed. That's what I need. I just need to find me a boyfriend for a few weeks so he can make me depressed and I'll get fat again. It's so true, though. That's why you see women get into marriages and then they blow up. It's depression. Been there, done that. I'm just glad I didn't have to marry him to figure this out. You know what I mean? I fast-tracked that marriage into a darn 2-year relationship and learned real quick. So we're going to go to the Goodwill later. We're going to try a new gym. And I'm going to shower and work out on my glutes. I just had my protein. I usually just rinse this out and wipe it down with one of those wipes because I don't like to go into these shower houses and use the sinks, like, for food. Good enough. But yeah, I'm going to run for now. And we'll talk, I guess, later. I need my phone so that I can listen to music. It's hard for me to work out without music. See that? You see that fiber on the end? That's how these do. Jessica, I don't know about these. Those Fisher Price ones from the Dollar Tree don't do this. Damn, and it's in there too. I can't even get it out. There it goes. I don't know. Anyway. Well, I love you guys, and I hope y'all have a good afternoon, a good morning. It's brunch. And we're going to go check out Goodwill later to see if they have a set of dumbbells for me because I need them. And I really don't want to spend $30 at Goodwill, I mean at Walmart on something that I could get used that might be nicer. So we'll go check that out in a little while. I'm going to work out and shower, and then we'll catch up in a few. And y'all have a good afternoon. Bye, y'all. Be safe. I'm praying for you guys. Please pray for me. Bye.